something impossible just happened in our solar system. 3I/ATLAS, the mysterious interstellar visitor that's been baffling scientists for months, just released a gas cloud that broke every rule of cosmic chemistry we thought we understood. This isn't water vapor from melting ice. This isn't normal comet behavior. What's streaming off 3I/ATLAS right now has never been seen in nature. Chemicals that exist together in combinations so unnatural, so engineered, that NASA had to create entirely new classification categories just to catalog them. And when you see what this gas cloud is actually doing as it spreads outward at thousands of miles per hour, when you understand what it's designed to accomplish, you'll realize why some scientists have stopped calling 3I/ATLAS a comet altogether. They're calling it a weapon. Join us as we reveal the countdown that's already begun, the contamination that's unstoppable, and the terrifying purpose behind what might be the most sophisticated attack our solar system has ever faced. But I'm warning you now, what you're about to learn will make you question whether we're alone in ways you never imagined. August 29th, 2025. Chile's Very Large Telescope detected something that shattered everything we knew about space chemistry: pure nickel vapor. Streaming off 3I/ATLAS in impossible quantities. But not just any nickel. This was so unnaturally pure, it looked engineered like a factory was running inside the comet. Here's why that should terrify you. In the entire universe, nickel never appears alone. It's always paired with iron, forged together in dying stars, inseparable cosmic twins. Finding pure nickel in space is like finding water made of only hydrogen. It doesn't exist in nature. But there it was, pouring out of this ancient visitor in industrial quantities, accompanied by gases that made scientists physically sick when they realized what they were looking at. Cyanide. Enough hydrogen cyanide to sterilize entire planets. And carbon dioxide concentrations 8 times higher than anything natural should produce. This wasn't a comet outgassing from solar heat. This was something else entirely. Something that had been designed to manufacture these specific chemicals and release them at precise moments as it traveled through our solar system. Dr. Elena Rodriguez at the European Southern Observatory was the first to notice the patterns. The emission rates weren't following any natural curve, she later testified in classified hearings. They were stepping up in exact mathematical progressions, like a production line hitting quotas. But the discovery that made NASA classify all 3I/ATLAS data as anomalous pending review was what happened next. The gas emissions weren't random. They were pulsed, timed, coordinated with electromagnetic bursts that radio telescopes detected as structured signals. Every gas release was accompanied by a transmission, like progress reports being sent back to whoever built this thing. 3I/ATLAS wasn't just contaminating our solar system, it was reporting on its success. And when cryptographers at the NSA ran the signal patterns through every decryption algorithm known to humanity, they found something that made the Pentagon classify the entire 3I/ATLAS investigation under the highest levels of national security. The signals weren't just communications, they were acknowledgement codes, confirmation receipts, proof that something somewhere in deep space was receiving detailed reports about the contamination of our solar system. The gas cloud trailing behind 3I/ATLAS is now bigger than most people can comprehend. Imagine a poison veil stretching across space, long enough to wrap around Earth 2,000 times, and it's still growing by thousands of miles every hour. But size isn't what should keep you awake at night. It's the purpose. When atmospheric scientists ran the numbers, when they calculated what happens when this chemical cocktail reaches planetary atmospheres, they discovered something that made several researchers request immediate transfers to other projects. This isn't random terraforming, it's surgical modification of our solar system's chemistry. The cyanide will sterilize any oxygen-breathing life it encounters. The nickel will catalyze reactions that turn harmless atmospheric gases into toxic compounds. The carbon dioxide will trap heat, turning habitable worlds into furnaces. But here's the terrifying precision. Different regions of the gas cloud contain different chemical concentrations. Some areas are loaded with sterilizing agents, others are flooded with greenhouse gases. Still others are saturated with metallic particles. It's as if our solar system is being prepared for multiple different purposes. Different zones being optimized for different requirements. Requirements that suggest whoever sent 3 I/ATLAS knows exactly what they want to do with our worlds. The contamination pattern isn't random either. Computer models show that the gas dispersion follows gravitational currents and solar wind patterns with impossible precision, as if whoever designed this understood our solar system's dynamics better than we do. Mars will be hit first. 6 months from now, the red planet will be bathed in alien chemistry that will react with its iron-rich surface, creating compounds that have never existed on Mars before. The interaction will generate temperatures hot enough to melt the polar ice caps, releasing water vapor that will mix with the alien gases to create an atmosphere toxic to Earth life, but potentially suitable for something else entirely. Venus gets the metallic particles. The nickel compounds will interact with the planet's sulfuric acid clouds, creating a different kind of hell, one that might be habitable for silicon-based organisms that thrive in metal-rich, high-temperature environments. Earth gets contaminated in 2 years. Our ozone layer will be shredded by the incoming chemicals. Our atmosphere will be permanently altered by gases designed by an intelligence that views our world as raw material. And there's absolutely nothing we can do to stop it. The European Space Agency attempted to calculate whether nuclear weapons could disperse the gas cloud. The results were classified immediately, but leaked fragments of the analysis suggest that even our most powerful hydrogen bombs would barely affect a cloud this massive and diffuse. We're watching the slow-motion conquest of our solar system, and we're powerless to stop it. The electromagnetic pulses accompanying each gas release from 3 I/ATLAS aren't just random transmissions, they're activation codes. Radio telescopes worldwide have detected response signals coming from throughout our solar system. The asteroid belt, the Kuiper belt, objects we catalogued as ordinary space rocks are suddenly transmitting back to 3 I/ATLAS. We're not dealing with a single alien probe. We're dealing with a coordinated network that's been hidden in our solar system for potentially thousands of years, masquerading as natural objects. And they're all waking up. Objects that have been dormant for millennia are now showing signs of activity. Unusual orbital adjustments, their own gas emissions, chemical signatures that match what's streaming off 3 I/ATLAS. The contamination isn't being carried out by one object. It's a synchronized operation involving dozens of artificial constructs that have been waiting for the signal to begin. Asteroid 2018 VG18, which we thought was just another rock in the Kuiper belt, suddenly began emitting radio signals on September 3rd. Within hours, 17 other asteroids throughout the outer solar system responded with identical signal patterns. But here's what's really making mission planners panic. The response signals aren't just acknowledgements, they're countdown sequences. Mathematical progressions that are decreasing, ticking down towards zero, all synchronized to reach completion at the exact moment the gas cloud from 3 I/ATLAS finishes spreading throughout our solar system. Whatever this network is preparing for, it's time to coincide with the completion of the chemical modification of our worlds. 6 months until Mars contamination, 2 years until Earth contamination. And when that countdown reaches zero, every hidden object in our solar system will simultaneously begin Phase 2 of whatever plan has been unfolding around us. The Deep Space Network has been tracking the signals 24/7 since the first responses were detected. The pattern is becoming clear. We're looking at a military-style operation with precise timing, coordinated objectives, and backup systems. If 3 I/ATLAS is destroyed, 17 other objects are positioned to continue the mission. If those are neutralized, deeper sleeper agents are standing by. The network has redundancies built upon redundancies, as if it was designed by an intelligence that's learned from previous failures. How many other solar systems have mounted desperate last-minute defenses? How many other species have discovered too late that they've been under surveillance by a hidden network for generations? The latest analysis of 3I/ATLAS's gas emissions revealed something that made astrobiologists physically ill. Organic compounds. DNA-like molecules that don't match any known terrestrial biology. 3I/ATLAS isn't just releasing industrial chemicals, it's dispersing alien genetic material throughout our solar system. These organic molecules are designed to survive in space for decades, to remain viable until they encounter suitable atmospheric conditions. And when they do, when they interact with existing biology on our planets, they won't just contaminate our ecosystems, they'll rewrite them. The genetic sequences being dispersed appear to be instructions, blueprints for modifying existing life forms, creating hybrid organisms that are part Earth biology, part something else entirely. It's the ultimate biological invasion, not alien creatures descending from the sky, but alien DNA quietly infiltrating every living thing on every world in our solar system. But the genetic payload tells an even more disturbing story when you analyze its structure. The DNA sequences aren't random, they're modular, designed to integrate with carbon-based life while making specific modifications to respiratory systems, nervous systems, reproductive capabilities, as if whoever sent this genetic material has studied our biology in detail, knows exactly how our organisms function, and has engineered genetic modifications specifically tailored for terrestrial life forms. They're not trying to replace us, they're trying to change us, to modify human biology and every other Earth species according to some alien blueprint. And the worst part, the modifications appear to be designed to make us more compatible with the chemical environment that 3I/ATLAS is creating. More resistant to cyanide, more adapted to high CO2 atmospheres, more tolerant of metallic contamination. They're not just terraforming our worlds, they're bioforming us to survive in the new environment they're creating. An expert at the CDC's Biological Threat Assessment Division ran the alien genetic sequences through every biological modeling system available. Their preliminary findings, leaked through anonymous sources, suggest that the modifications would fundamentally alter human neurochemistry. The changes would make humans more compliant, more susceptible to external control, while simultaneously enhancing our ability to survive in toxic environments, as if we're being converted into a specialized workforce for whatever comes next. But the genetic engineering isn't limited to intelligence or behavior. The alien DNA contains instructions for physical modifications that would make humans capable of surviving in environments that would kill us now. Breathing different atmospheric compositions, processing different types of nutrition, reproducing under different gravitational conditions. It's not just biological modification, it's species conversion, turning humanity into something designed for the alien-modified solar system we're about to inherit. And the terrifying efficiency of the genetic payload suggests this isn't experimental technology. This is a refined, perfected system that's been used successfully before. Somewhere else in the galaxy, other species have been through this same transformation. Deep field observations from the James Webb Space Telescope just revealed the most disturbing evidence yet about what 3I/ATLAS really is. Structures. Inside the comet's nucleus. Geometric formations that could only be artificial. Cylindrical chambers, hexagonal frameworks. Manufacturing facilities built into what we thought was a natural space rock. These structures are the source of the impossible gas emissions. Automated factories that have been operating for potentially thousands of years, producing industrial chemicals in the vacuum of space. But the manufacturing isn't random. Analysis of the emission patterns shows that 3I/ATLAS is following a production schedule. Different chemicals being manufactured and released at predetermined intervals according to some vast operational plan. It's not just a weapon, it's a mobile industrial platform designed to operate autonomously for geological ages as it travels between star systems. But who builds machines that operate for millennia? What intelligence thinks on timescales that dwarf human civilization? The answer might be in the trajectory data. 3I/ATLAS was launched from the direction of the galactic center approximately 26,000 years ago, at exactly the same time that mysterious energy bursts were detected coming from that region of space. Whatever sent 3I/ATLAS has been planning this operation longer than Homo sapiens has existed. They've been traveling toward our solar system since before human civilization began, carrying a carefully engineered payload designed specifically for our worlds. But the manufacturing chambers reveal something even more chilling. They're not just producing the chemicals we've detected. Internal scans show production lines for substances we don't recognize, compounds that haven't been released yet. 3I/ATLAS isn't finished. What we've seen so far is just phase 1 of a multi-stage operation that will unfold over the coming years as this ancient factory continues its programmed mission, and we have no idea what it's going to manufacture next. The Webb telescope's infrared sensors have detected at least 12 distinct manufacturing chambers within 3I/ATLAS's core. Each chamber appears to be specialized for producing different categories of compounds: chemical weapons, biological agents, genetic modification vectors, and several chambers whose purpose remains completely mysterious. The engineering is beyond anything in human capability. The chambers operate in perfect vacuum, manufacturing complex organic molecules without any visible energy source. The precision is molecular level, creating compounds with exactly the right properties for their intended purposes. But perhaps most disturbing is the evidence of quality control. The manufacturing chambers have rejection systems. They test their products and discard anything that doesn't meet specifications. This isn't just advanced technology, it's perfect technology. Systems that never fail, never deviate from their programming, never stop working. How long have these chambers been operating? The answer comes from isotopic analysis of the manufactured compounds. Some of the chemicals show radioactive decay patterns suggesting they were produced decades ago, stored in perfect stasis until needed. 3I/ATLAS has been manufacturing its payload for our entire journey through space. 50,000 years of continuous production, creating stockpiles of every chemical needed for the complete conversion of our solar system. The objects throughout our solar system that are responding to 3I/ATLAS's signals aren't just random space rocks that happen to contain alien technology, they're strategically positioned. Computer analysis of their locations reveals that the hidden network has been placed to provide complete coverage of our solar system. Every planet, every major moon, every potentially habitable zone is being monitored by at least one disguised artificial construct. We've been under surveillance for potentially thousands of years without knowing it, but the positioning isn't just for observation. As these objects activate and begin their own operations, patterns emerge that suggest they're designed to work together, to create overlapping fields of effect that will ensure no part of our solar system escapes modification. Recent observations show that several asteroids near Earth have begun subtle orbital adjustments, moving into positions that will optimize the dispersal of whatever they're planning to release when their countdown sequences reach 0. Objects near Mars are repositioning themselves to intersect with the incoming gas cloud from 3I/ATLAS, adding their own chemical contributions to the contamination. Even more disturbing, long-range scans show that objects in the outer solar system, disguised as ordinary Kuiper Belt objects and comets, are beginning to move inward, changing their orbits to arrive in the inner solar system at precisely calculated intervals over the next decade. This isn't just about contaminating our current worlds. It's about maintaining the alien modification of our solar system for generations, maybe centuries. But the most chilling discovery comes from analyzing the communication protocols these objects are using. The mathematical structures aren't just coordination signals, they're learning algorithms. The network is studying us, analyzing our responses to the contamination, adapting its operations based on human behavior patterns, Every news report about 3I/ATLAS, every scientific paper, every government response, it's all being monitored and incorporated into their operational parameters. They're not just modifying our solar system, they're optimizing their approach based on how we react to the threat. The network's learning capabilities are terrifyingly sophisticated. Intelligence analysts have detected pattern recognition systems that can predict human responses with 94% accuracy. The network knows what we're going to do before we do it. When NASA considered launching a probe to intercept 3I/ATLAS, the network's behavior changed within hours, as if it knew about the classified mission planning sessions, as if it had access to our most secure communications. The surveillance isn't just passive observation. The network has been actively studying human technology, military capabilities, social structures, and psychological patterns. It knows our weaknesses better than we do, and it's using that knowledge to refine its approach. Every countermeasure we consider, every defense we might mount, has already been anticipated and neutralized by an intelligence that's been watching us develop for thousands of years. Something has changed. The timeline is accelerating. What was supposed to be a 6-month countdown to Mars contamination has suddenly compressed to weeks. The gas emissions from 3I/ATLAS have intensified dramatically, and the response signals from the hidden network have become urgent, almost frantic, as if something has triggered an emergency protocol. Analysis of the electromagnetic communications reveals that the network has detected something that's forcing them to accelerate their timeline. Whether it's human technological developments, unexpected resistance, or some other factor, they're now rushing to complete their mission. The gas cloud that was supposed to take 2 years to reach Earth is now expanding so rapidly that contamination could begin within months. But the acceleration isn't random. It appears to be triggered by specific human activities. Space missions, scientific discoveries, military developments, they're responding to us, adapting their strategy based on our capabilities, and apparently something we've done recently has convinced them that they need to finish their operation before we develop countermeasures. The hidden objects throughout our solar system are now moving openly, abandoning their disguises as they rush to predetermined positions. Several have been tracked, making impossible maneuvers, changing trajectories in ways that violate known physics. Whatever technology they're using to move through space, it's far beyond anything we understand. But the most terrifying development is what's happening to the manufacturing chambers inside 3I/ATLAS. Deep field scans show that production has shifted to substances that weren't in the original operational plan. New chemicals, new genetic sequences, new compounds that seem designed to counteract human technological capabilities. It's as if they've analyzed our potential responses and are now manufacturing specific agents to neutralize our defenses. The countdown isn't just to contamination anymore. It's to something that will ensure we can't fight back. Intelligence sources suggest that the acceleration was triggered by recent advances in quantum computing and artificial intelligence. The network appears to view our developing computational capabilities as a direct threat to their mission. They're not just afraid of our weapons, they're afraid of our minds, our ability to think, adapt, and potentially develop countermeasures they haven't anticipated. The Emergency Acceleration Protocol represents something unprecedented. For the first time in this ancient operation, the attackers are afraid of their targets. The gas cloud from 3I/ATLAS is now moving so fast that all previous timeline estimates are worthless. Mars contamination, 3 weeks. Earth atmospheric infiltration, 6 months. Complete solar system modification, 2 years. But those numbers don't tell the real story. Because the latest discoveries about what's hiding inside that poison veil are rewriting everything we thought we understood about this operation. The chemical cocktail isn't just designed to terraform our worlds or modify our biology. Hidden within the seemingly random gas emissions are self-assembling molecular machines. Nanotechnology that will begin constructing larger structures once it reaches suitable environments. The contamination isn't the end goal, it's the foundation. The building blocks for something much larger that will construct itself using the raw materials of our planets. And the genetic modifications aren't just about changing existing life. The alien DNA contains instructions for entirely new organisms, creatures designed to thrive in the modified environment that 3I/ATLAS is creating. We're not just being invaded, we're being replaced. By the time the hidden network completes its countdown, our solar system won't be ours anymore. It will be the newest colony of whatever intelligence sent 3I/ATLAS, a carefully modified environment populated by hybrid organisms that serve alien purposes. But here's the most chilling realization. The operation is so sophisticated, so long-term, so precisely engineered that it suggests this isn't the first time they've done this. Somewhere else in the galaxy, other solar systems have undergone the same transformation. Other species have been modified or replaced. Other worlds have been converted into alien colonies through this same methodical process. We're not unique. We're not special. We're just the latest target in a galactic colonization program that's been running for millions of years. The gas cloud trailing behind 3I/ATLAS isn't just contamination, it's conquest. And there's nothing we can do to stop what's already begun. The transformation of our solar system is now inevitable. The only question is whether humanity will survive it, or become something else entirely. Subscribe if you want to know what happens when the countdown reaches 0, or if you're ready to learn how many other solar systems have already been transformed.